Well, I think over the next 10 years we're going to be struggling to overcome the problem of growing unemployment that's developed over the last couple of years, particularly the problem of increasing long-term unemployment and increasing youth unemployment. Those are going to be, I think, big problems in the labour market, and they are essentially a consequence of the failure of government economic policy. We were told there'd be lots of new private sector jobs to make up for the reduction in public sector jobs. That simply hasn't happened. So I think there is an urgent task to rebuild momentum in the economy and to stop the increase in long-term unemployment getting worse as it is at the moment. So I think for the next 10 years that's going to be a big concern. Beyond that, of course, there are big challenges that we can see, and perhaps most strikingly, the increasing age of the workforce in the UK is going to be a challenge. I think there are things we can do to manage that, but they do need to be done. And also the fact that we're going to be facing increasingly tough competition from emerging economies, and that's going to be an issue not just for the next 10 years, but for the next 30, 40, 50. I think there is a really urgent need to tackle the crisis of unemployment that we have at the moment, and that's the basis for the 5-point plan that we've argued for, to get some momentum back in the economy straight away. A 1-year reduction in the rate of VAT, a further reduction in the rate of VAT on home improvements, because the building industry is so badly in the doldrums at the moment. A national insurance holiday for small employers, a repeat of Alistair Darling's bank bonus tax to secure funds for 110,000 jobs for young people, bringing forward investment in infrastructure. That's the kind of measures that we need in the short term to tackle what otherwise is going to be a long-term labour market problem. And beyond that, we do need to be thinking about how we can support older people in the workforce, discourage people from leaving the workforce earlier than they need to, and how we can build skills amongst young people, but amongst older people as well, to make sure they continue to be productive and able to participate in the labour market for years and years to come. Yes, I do think it is. We got closer to it under the last government than for a very long time indeed. It was actually at the time when I was the Minister for Employment, but I wouldn't claim that it was down to me. But I think it is a realistic goal, and it needs to be our goal, because we can't afford to have a large proportion of our workforce excluded from producing and contributing to the economy. So I do think full employment needs to be our ambition. It's not going to happen overnight, but as the goal that we should be heading for, I think it's absolutely right to set that as the ambition, which is that will be the culmination of the policies that we're introducing and developing. I think Policy Exchange has come up with some very interesting ideas about the detail, the mechanics, if you like, of how welfare to work support should be provided. We've got the work programme in place. In my view, the principles of the work programme have got a lot to commend them, but the implementation of it has been disappointing in a variety of ways. And I think some new thinking about how the procurement process can work, and the process that job seekers should go through on their trajectory from unemployment to employment, those are areas where, in my view, Policy Exchange can do some very valuable thinking for us.